Hi guys, welcome to the Dubai review again for some more cryptocurrency fundamental analysis. We're also going to talk about coins which have good technical analysis and look good to purchase right now. I've been trading cryptocurrencies for over 6 months now, done really well at it, so now I'm doing it full time, and over the course of the next however long I stay in the market before I can retire, I'm going to give you occasional videos about cryptocurrencies I believe are good to purchase. I'll just give a few minutes for some more people to log in. I'll turn off the AC, which is one of the necessities in Dubai, because yeah, it's about 45 degrees outside, but it'll be making a bit of noise, so I'll turn that off and then we'll get started. That'll give a few more people a chance to log on. We can also say hi to Slim Shady while we wait for a few more people to log on. So this is Slim Shady. He's the mascot of the Dubai review. He's going to be picking out a few cryptocurrencies that you should invest in. He's a little bit camera shy, so that's probably why he's meowing. I've got another channel that's all about cats, so if you're interested in cats, then we'll be able to I'll be able to share that channel with you. So he wants to go now, so we'll get on with the cryptocurrencies. So what I base my research on is A, fundamental analysis, and B, technical analysis. I think the fundamental analysis is the most important part, because if there suddenly becomes a bear market, are you really going to want SHIT coins to hold while you wait for the market to correct? So I do a lot of trading based on technical analysis, but I try and do that trading on coins with good fundamental analysis. Now, part of the trick for fundamental analysis in the cryptocurrency market is knowing what the fundamentals are. And a lot of people think, okay, in terms of stocks and bonds, is it worth this, is it worth that? But what a cryptocurrency is actually worth depends on what people think of it. So quite a lot of research I do is based on looking at other YouTube channels, checking the social media feeds and tweets, and just seeing what people think. So we're going to base it on that. Now, I'm going to give myself a bit of a nickname for these videos. You can call me the Altcoin Meister or Crypto Whale. The reason for that is simply because I support coins that are good for the environment, which are altcoins, specifically proof of stake and proof of importance altcoins. So to talk about my main holdings, they're in Ethereum, Dash and NEM. Those three coins are all at least partially proof of stake, or in the case of Ethereum are going to be, and it's really the way of the future, because sure, we all have to buy a bit of Bitcoin now and then because of our trading. You know, when we're selling a coin on Poloniex, we're usually selling it for Bitcoin. You can do that trading with Ethereum for ERC20 tokens, but a lot of coins aren't ERC20. So, you know, with that necessary evil, and I call it evil because a lot of the players in the market, you know, really just looking for the appreciation of value of the coins, which is fine. I'm doing that for all coins, but the main evil of it is the amount of electricity that it uses. Now they're burning coal in China. That's the main power source there. I used to live in Australia, and the biggest country that we exported our coal to in Australia is China, and they use it in China for their power stations. And as we know, Bitcoin consumes as much power as a small country. Like, it consumes more power than Denmark. So just think about what that's doing for the environment when you pile all your money into Bitcoin. I'm not saying don't have some Bitcoin, but try to, you know, try to think, is this really the best investment for the environment? Okay, now that said, let's move that aside and talk about some coins for today, because one of the coins I had picked and had planned to talk to you about, and I can show you I actually bought the coin earlier today, has shot up in value. I think this is just a pump and dump, so you might be able to pick it up later for the same price I got it for. And you can see in my WhatsApp community that I just bought some Bitcoin dark. Okay, so now we'll get onto some coins which you can pick up right now. Now, in my last video, we actually shot it about a month ago, and I wasn't in a huge hurry to post it. That was done with Aussie, the bullshit, Aussie, the BS filter. We had a debate, and I said that Dash, NEM, and Ethereum were my favorite coins at the time. At that time, those coins were around $200 for both Dash and Ethereum, and since then they've both shot up. Ethereum to around, let's look at it at the moment, around 344, and Dash was at 400, now it's at 350. So both of those coins, you know, if you'd got them around the time that we did that interview, you'd have made about 75%. NEM is also up too. That's up about, I guess since we shot the video, about 75% too, but since I posted it, you know, it's up, all these coins are up about 30 to 50%. So, you know, still gains even after. And you'll find that if you're thinking about the future, not about the present, you know, most people buying Bitcoin are thinking about the present. You know, this is the most popular coin now, but will it always be? That's one of the questions I think you need to ask yourself. Okay, so a few coins I've had a look at which seem to be good both from the technical standpoint and the fundamental standpoint. I'll run through now. The first one is Bitshares. Now these are coins that are not currently pumped up in value. Now the reason I choose that is because you can just buy and hold. If you're uncomfortable later, you can put sell orders in, and you know, if you're realistic, you'll get more than you paid for. They're not going to go down too much more because they've already had their lows, and after that they've come up a bit or they've leveled out, and so therefore unless the whole market corrects, you know, I don't think you're going to get any downside with these. Now that said, do your own due diligence. I didn't say that right. So check the coins out yourself and make sure. What's that? A comment? Yeah. Okay. One of the bushwhackers. Yeah. Since I'm doing cryptos full time, I don't really need to shave so much. So that's one of the advantages. But yeah, maybe I'll do that for the next video. Yeah, getting back to what I was saying, so these coins are at their lows, or if they go lower, you know, they'll probably quite easily recover to the level. So let's have a look at the chart for this one. Okay, so as you can see here, back in May, this coin was at about 350, 3,500 satoshis. It went up to 17,000 satoshis approximately, and now it's back around about what is it at the moment, 3,094 satoshis. So there's not really much downside you can have to this coin, because even the coins that haven't recovered to their former levels after the recovery, they haven't fallen below what they were before their boost up in when the last bull market was there. So I'm sure you'll see that that this is probably about as low as it will get. You know, might go another 100-200 lower, but I think that'll be about it, unless there's a bear market. I was watching other YouTube channels. There were a couple of other YouTubers that recommended this coin. One was Ryan Lee. Now he has a huge following, but I think most people wouldn't have seen that video. That was about an hour long of his, so you know they'll pick that up later. So that was today. I saw that video come out, and let's have a quick look at their posting. Now 0x, a coin that just came out, was recently having a similar value. Now that had an ICO in which only about 30 million was put in for funding for this ICO. Okay, now what you should compare that with is the money that went into Bitshares when it launched. That was at the time one of the largest ICOs in history, and it raised about $200 million. So now these coins have a fairly similar market cap, or you know, not too much difference between 0x and Bitshares. They're both decentralized exchanges, and Bitshares will actually you can trade a lot more different coins on it, and there's very active posting on social media. There's engagement with the community. What would you like to see next for Bitshares? So they're basically asking their customers or users what they want, and going for that. They have regular state of the network conferences, and I'll jump on to the next coin, because this is one which I think might pop up very quickly, like Bitcoin Dark did. So I don't want to waste too much time before I talk to you about Bytecoin. Bytecoin is a cryptocurrency that's a privacy coin, but the thing is, not many people know that it's a privacy coin. Now the thing that this one has in common with Bitshares is that it had a massively high all-time high, and now it's only at 1/5 of the all-time high, or even less than that in the case of Bitshares. And these highs were recent, so as you know, a rising tide will raise all boats, and that will probably happen with both of these coins as well. It just hasn't happened yet, so get in while you still can. So Bytecoin was at, let's just see, it's a bit thin, I think about 267. I'll put in a fib so that we can see what it was exactly. Yeah, 276 satoshis. Now it's currently at about 34, 35, 36. I've just bought some, and I'm going to keep on buying as it goes up. because the technical analysis is telling us if it breaks around 37 Satoshis, then that will be a proper breakout. Now it's already had a kind of breakout and found new support. So it was at around 30, in the sub 30 range, broke out there off its low, which was around here of 25 Satoshis. Got up to 32, stayed around that level, found support at that level, then it broke up to around 37, and then it found support at the 3130 level. So it's you know, already 2 levels above its bottom. So this coin's going to go up, and the reason why it's going to go up is because it's a privacy coin. And we all know about the trend with the privacy coins. This one is the only major privacy coin that I could find that that hasn't had a big pump yet, and it's the original privacy coin. Now, because it's the original, it might not have the best programming. I believe that that's been addressed. There was some issue that Monero brought up, and you know, Monero, Fluffy Pony, he likes to put down the other coins, so you know, he came up with an issue with Bytecoin, probably because it was their only real competitor for the privacy coins at the time, if you distinguish Dash a little bit from the privacy coins, because it's Dash isn't solely a privacy coin. Okay, so that being fixed probably, the biggest thing I'd mention about Bytecoin is at the time that it was at these highs. I'll zoom in this chart a bit so you can see a bit better. At there, here we are. At this 276 level, it had that same issue. This was May, and at the time it was rising up. It did these parabolic moves, not just one, but actually 3 in a row. 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. At the time it did these moves, there was no social media action from the coin. There was no development going on. The coin was basically, you know, what some people might call dead. Now that was then. We can see here that in the Twitter there was a post on April 25th, and this was May when the coin went parabolic, and there was nothing more posted until July 28th. Now we go from July 28th till now, and their Slack's got going. They've had new releases, new wallets. You can check this out yourself. I'm not going to go through everything. They've had a development roadmap. Everything sprung to life. Now, that only started in July after the break. I was looking at buying it at the time when it started going up in May, and I found on their announcements pages a whole lot of ads for pharmaceuticals, you know. So that told me at the time this coin doesn't have good fundamentals. Now that was then, this is now. So that's all changed, and we're still at this level which is puny, which is tiny, which is this much of, you know, this level which it got to. Now at the time I think it was at number 8 in terms of marketplace. That's ahead of what Monero's at now. So, you know, if this coin makes some Monero type moves, then you're going to see it go to number 8, even if it just retains its former high, regains its former high. Another thing that I'd mention about it is Monero uses mining. This coin is a proof of capacity coin. You can mine this phone with your mobile phone. I do. You can mine it with your laptop. It's got access for mining in all around the world. It's becoming very popular in India actually, and that's because a lot of people in India can mine the coin very easily. So it's going to have a very wide distribution. The same coin has been around since 2012. I believe that's around the same time Litecoin started. So it's one of the earliest, and for privacy it's actually one of the best coins around. A lot of people don't know it's a privacy coin, so that might be why it's having a late start, but it is already having a start, you can see, to joining this privacy rally and the bull market altogether. So I think if you don't get this coin now when I'm posting this video, given how high it's been, you'll have a lot of time to get in at a higher price and still make a good profit, because from 37 or 36 satoshis to 270 satoshis, that's about 8x. So I'd be buying and holding this coin. In fact, all the coins I'm talking about today I'd be buying and holding because of their fundamental values and long-term potential. So even though I'm not normally doing live streams, it's because you don't really need to worry too much about when you buy these coins. They're for the long-term potential. Where I expect them to get to in a year's time is what I'm thinking about when I'm choosing them. But this coin especially could have some immediate pop-up in value. Okay, so we'll go to the last coin I'm going to talk about today, which has got different reasons for buying it. Qtum has started to gain Western attention. This is a coin that just popped up on CoinMarketCap a couple of months ago, and people didn't know what it was. You can see here's another one, H-share. I don't know what that one is. I've actually got some of all of the coins in the top 30 except H-share, so obviously I'm going to have a look into what that one is. But the way I trade is I have a very diversified portfolio, and what's important to me is the timing. When you buy is the most important. The second most important thing is when you sell, because you can make a profit of any coin that that's on CoinMarketCap if you buy it at the right time and you sell it at the right time. So if you're holding a diversified portfolio, that's going to be the best thing for you. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but put more eggs in the baskets which you think will do better. So obviously Bytecoin, Bitshares and Qtum are those ones at the moment. Now Qtum, they're going to be launching the Skynet very soon. They've had a lot of developments. Around this time, in I think an hour or two, they're going to be listing on an exchange in Korea, and all the Koreans who have coins valuing I think around 10 million won, which is or about 10,000 US dollars, are going to get a free Qtum. So it will have a much wider base of people who own the coin. So I think that will not have an immediate effect, but those guys, you know, are going to have one coin that's not worth very much, you know, and they're going to look at it, okay, shall I buy or sell this coin? They'll look at the development website and they'll see what's happening with the coin. This is basically the Neo of Singapore, this coin. It's going to be huge, and I think the technology is a bit better than Neo. I won't go into the reasons why now, because you know I'm trying to cover the coins in a fairly short amount of time, so that you guys can get in quick if you want to get in before it's listed in Korea. It's currently having a little bit of a dip now, so it might be a good time to get in. It was over $16 earlier today, and if this does anything like what Neo did, it could be, you know, $70–80, because that would only be a like a 6x rise, whereas Neo had an 8x rise. Now you know, do your own due diligence. Obviously the market in Singapore isn't going to be as big as the market in China, but the thing is, you know, they're branching out into Korea. Singapore is the hub of commerce. It's certainly the hub of it's also the hub of cryptocurrencies for Southeast Asia. So they've got all that market, potentially Korea. They're listed on a few Chinese exchanges as well, and every day they're becoming more popular on Bittrex. Now you can see the volume on Bittrex is only 4,000 now. Now we've got YouTubers starting to talk about Qtum. It's going to have an increase in the effect of the popularity on in Western countries. You know, like Neo all of a sudden became popular in the West as well as the East. I think that will happen with this one as well. So I think that about covers it. I'll wrap up this live stream now. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to post your questions in the comments or type them in now. Otherwise, I'll finish it up. One more thing, Qtum is also a proof of stake, so you don't have to worry about your cryptocurrency investments polluting the environment. Make money and help the environment. One more thing I'll add is I was watching Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, and he was posting about how he was going to sell his Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash is one of the worst cryptocurrencies for the environment. That's basically a Chinese miner's coin. Now, all the Chinese miners, they obviously using electricity from the grid, so that's coal-fired power plants that are producing the electricity to mine Bitcoin Cash. And when Bitcoin Cash was going to come out, there was at the time next time I'll get the charts a bit easier to read, but you know, it's more important what I'm saying than what's on the charts. At the time, Adam Meister was saying he's going to sell his Bitcoin Cash straight away, and now we're about 4 weeks into Bitcoin Cash being there, and he still hasn't sold it. So, you know, I kind of find that a bit hypocritical. You know, I've been watching him almost every day, and often people ask, "Oh, why haven't you sold your Bitcoin Cash yet?" And you know, each time he has an excuse. "Oh, I'm scared to sell my Bitcoin Cash because I have to separate it from my Bitcoin." Now, for someone who charges 0.1 Bitcoin an hour for his consulting, that's about $400. It's about $430 an hour. Wouldn't you expect someone to who earns $430 an hour to be able to, if not know, at least figure out how to separate your Bitcoin Cash from your Bitcoin? I mean, come on. I think we've got some people out there in the YouTube space supporting Chinese miners. So, you know, I wanted to give a shout out to the BS Filter, who we recently had an interview with and discussion. One of my group members came along to that, and by the way, I have a WhatsApp group. I'll tell you a bit about that later. You know, I want to support him, Aussie, and what he's doing by calling out a bit of BS that other people might not have noticed. Now, if Adam really wanted to sell his B Cash, I think he would have done it by now. So, you know, let's all kind of make the Bitcoin Meister aware of this, that he's supporting Chinese miners at the moment by not selling his Bitcoin Cash, and apparently he has a lot of it. So, you know, that might really help bring the price down and end the Bitcoin Cash like he wants to have ended, as being a threat to Bitcoin. So, you know, at least with Bitcoin, some people are mining it from power sources like in Iceland, which are geothermal power, which is more environmentally friendly. So that's just afterthought, something to think about, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks for tuning in. I'll post this later, so you'll be able to see it later. Have a great day, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you next time.